Imagine you go to the store and you're looking through the fruit section and you see a perfectly red, shiny, and flawless apple. Well, you might want to take a closer look at the label because it can be a genetically modified fruit. That's why it's so important to look for the organic produce. This is because the genetically modified foods are engineered in a lab essentially, and this is done because it helps preserve the food for longer and can technically make it last longer, look better, and even survive for double the time that normal foods are preserved for. So why do I want to ban these genetically modified foods? Well, the genetically modified foods can propose health risks to farmers and cause other environmental concerns. Other than health risks towards farmers, it can also lead to financial troubles and other issues like such, and leave chemical residues leading to problems like cancer and other health concerns. The scientific term for this is glyphosate, and that's the chemical that leaves that harm. In 2018, Myers et al. Did a environmental study in Europe and discovered that by consuming an excessive amount over time from genetically modified foods, it can lead to liver problems and even cancer. AAEM in 2009 found that genetically modified foods can propose health risks through animal testing and can lead to even organ damage and infertility. And that can be a big concern for our future and our population. So, genetically modified foods, in other words, is a big global experiment without our consent. So we're technically test subjects, but in the regards to other scientists, and we don't have a choice, which is why I want to ban these foods. So let's start with the most direct concern, what these foods might be doing to our health, and let's dive into a deeper look into what it might be doing to our planet. So let's look at the environmental harm and what it might do to farmers. Well, first is cross pollution. So these genetically modified foods, by making crops like such, it can lead to super weeds. And so far, the Union of Concerned Scientists in 2019 discovered that there are over 100 million acres of these weeds, which are killing plants and even some animals in the way because they're getting in the way of their produce and what they eat. As far as monocultures, there is less biodiversity, poor soil, and even a decline in the bees population, which are already becoming endangered. And this is because it is killing that natural way of essentially the circle of life, and killing these flowers and what the bees pollinate in. A quote I found very interesting is, when biodiversity declines, everything from bees to soil microbes suffers. Basically, what this is saying is that everybody is suffering from these genetically modified foods, from bees even to the soil that makes our food, which can even include us. And when the earth pays the price, so do the farmers that grow our food. The farmers are the biggest ones that are one of the biggest targets of this genetically modified process system that's happening. These farmers are having further health problems. They're not getting paid as much, and even they are losing their jobs to labs that are growing these foods, causing us harm and killing their farms. Not only do they pose bigger health concerns towards the farmers, but they're being exploited by leaving patented seeds, and they can't reuse these seeds for the next seasons that are oncoming, which means that they're losing money by not being able to reuse these seeds to plant new crops for the upcoming season, and it's causing a big decline in their total salary, as you could say. So the Center for Food Safety in 2020 stated that a Monsanto versus the U.S. farmers has led to 140 lawsuits. This is because the farmers are enraged that the genetically modified market is taking away their jobs unrightfully and without their permission. So they're suing these big companies that are producing this genetically modified crops and food and meat and everything, and they want their money back. And so do we all. We want our proper health back. So this can lead to a debt towards these farmers and even a loss of independence. But the food control should belong to the farmers, not the corporations. I think that the hardworking farmers deserve a lot more than these money-stealing and greedy companies that are taking all those opportunities away from the farmers. So when we step back and look at the big picture, let's look at the start. So GMOs propose health risks and lead to environmental damage and farmer exploitation. Now, how could any of that sound good? Well, I think that's why GMOs should be banned or at least strictly limited. My call to action here is I want to demand labeling because some companies are getting away with not labeling their genetically modified foods and we're just consuming them. So I think it should be completely illegal and reinforced that these foods should be labeled, especially when they're put on shelves. I also want to have a bigger support towards natural farming. I think that these bigger corporations should donate a percentage of these to the families that are in need and have been affected by the GMO foods. So, when it comes to food, ignorance isn't bliss, and we should call action to this. It's dangerous, and we need to set things right, especially for the farmers and for our health. Thank you.